Welcome to online class of KPB School and College, Dhaka. This is Mahmudul Hasan Talukder, Assistant Teacher English, KPB School and College. Dear students, listeners and viewers, how are you? I hope all of you are safe and sound by the mercy of Almighty Allah. I am also fine. Today I am going to discuss about transformation of sentence. Topic: transformation of sentence. At first, we should know what is transformation of sentence. Transformation of sentence means changing the sentence without changing the meaning of the sentence. Okay. Today I shall discuss from affirmative to negative. Let us see the first rule. Rule 1. Only or alone. Instead of only or alone, you should use none but, nothing but, or not more than, or not less than. Dear students and listeners, if you find only or alone in any affirmative sentence, you should write down none but instead of any person, nothing but instead of any things or anything, and not more than, not less than in case of number or age. Okay, let's see some example. Example number 1, affirmative. Only Allah can help us. Here, only indicates Allah, so we should use none but instead of only. Dear students, you can see the underlined word is only, and we use here none but instead of only. Only Allah can help us. Negative would be none but Allah can help us. Dear students, you should carefully remember that you should change only one word, only instead of none but, and none but instead of only if the only indicates the person. Let's see another example. Affirmative. Children like only sweets. Here only indicates sweets. Sweets is the name of a thing, so we should write down nothing but instead of only. Negative would be children like nothing but sweets. Okay, let's see the third example. Affirmative. Humaira is only 3 years old. Here only indicates years of Humaira, so we should write down not more than or not less than instead of only. So the negative of the sentence will be Humaira is not more than 3 years old. Here only indicates the age of Humaira, so we should write not more than or not less than. Humaira is only 3 years old. Negative would be Humaira is not more than 3 years old, or Humaira is not less than 3 years old. Okay, move on to the next. Rule 2. If any sentence starts with every, in case of that sentence, we should follow this rule. There is no, we should use there is no instead of every. The word which is used after every, but plus extension. For example, number 1, affirmative. Every mother loves her child. Here we find every at the beginning of the sentence, so we should use there is no instead of every. Then we should use the word which is used after every. Here mother, there is no mother. Then we should use but, then extension of the sentence. So the sentence will be there is no mother, but loves her child. Let's see another example. Everyone loves a patriot. Everyone or everybody loves a patriot, and all loves a patriot. We know that a patriot is a person who loves his country and dies for his country. Okay, so the negative form of the sentence will be, there is no one but loves a patriot. Here the underlined word is every, and instead of every we should use here there is no one, then we should use but, then loves a patriot. Okay, dear students, move on to the next rule. Rule 3, very important rule, both and. Instead of both you must use not only, and instead of and you must use but also. We should use not only instead of both and but also instead of and. Okay, let's see some examples. Example number 1, he is both cricketer and actor. Negative, he is not only cricketer but also actor. Dear students, look at the example very carefully. Here we use not only instead of both and but also instead of and. I can also mention another example here. He likes both meat and fish. He likes not only meat but also fish. Okay, dear students, let's see another example and another rule. Rule 4, if there is must in any affirmative sentence, cannot but or cannot help will be added instead of must. If you find must in any affirmative sentence, you should use cannot but or cannot help instead of must. You should remember that if you use cannot help, you should use ing with the verb of the sentence. You should add ing with the main verb of the sentence. Okay, let's see some examples. Example number 1, affirmative, I must do it. Here the underlined word is must, so we should use cannot but instead of must. I must do it. Negative, I cannot but do it. Number 2, affirmative, you must obey your parents. Here underlined word is must, so you can use cannot but or cannot help. Here I have used cannot help. Negative, you cannot help obeying your parents. Dear students, notice the sentence. Here cannot help plus obey plus ing. You should remember always, if you use cannot help, you should add ing with the main verb of the sentence. Okay, let's see another rule. A very important rule. Rule 5, s ... You should use not less instead of first s, and instead of second s you should use then. s ... means similar or same, so you should use not less instead of first s, and instead of second s you should use then. Let's see the example. Affirmative, he is as wise as a fox. Negative, he is not less wise than a fox. Here the underlined word is as and also as, so we should use here not less, and instead of second s we should use then. Affirmative, he is as wise as a fox. Negative will be he is not less wise than a fox. Okay, dear students, let's see the another example, another rule. Rule 6. As soon as. If you find as soon as at the beginning of any sentence, you should use no sooner had, then the subject, then past participle form of the verb, then you should use then THAN instead of comma, then rest of the sentence. Okay, as soon as you should use no sooner had instead of as soon as plus subject plus past participle form of verb plus extension, then THAN instead of comma plus extension. Let's see the example. Example, affirmative. As soon as the thief saw the police, comma, he ran away. Negative, we should use no sooner had instead of as soon as. No sooner had the thief, then the verb was saw in the past tense. We should use past participle from a verb. No sooner had the thief seen. Seen is the past participle from of saw the police. Then we use here then THAN instead of comma. Then he ran away. Affirmative was as soon as the thief saw the police, comma, he ran away. Negative, no sooner had the thief seen the police, then he ran away. Okay, dear students, move on to the next rule. Rule 7, very very important. 2.2 structure, subject plus very, verb plus very plus adjective plus and plus subject plus cannot or could not plus verb. Dear students, if you see 2.2 in any affirmative sentence, you should use very and instead of to and to, and you should write down cannot or could not. If the sentence is in present tense, you should use cannot, and if the sentence is in past tense, you should use could not. Okay, let's see some example. Negative, affirmative. He is too weak to work. Here we should use he is very instead of true. He is very weak, and instead of true, he is very weak and he cannot work. Here let's see the second example. Affirmative. The man was too old to work. Here we can see two underlined words, to and to, and we should use to instead of first two we should use very, and instead of second two we should use and. The man was too old to work. Negative would be the man was very old and he could not work. Here we use could not because this sentence is past tense. We should use could not, but the first example was in the present tense, so we should use there cannot. But in case of second example, we should use could not because this sentence is past tense. Okay, dear students, I hope you have understood the sentences. Let's move on to the next rule. Rule 8. The sentences which start with subject plus verb plus noun or adjective, the structure of the negative sentence will be subject plus verb plus not plus opposite word. Okay, dear students, here you should memorize some negative word or opposite word of some words. Example number 1, affirmative. He is my friend. He is my friend. Negative would be he is not my enemy or foe. Here subject is he, verb is, and we should use not. And my friend, the opposite word of friend is enemy or foe. He is my friend, negative would be he is not my enemy or foe. Let's see the another example, affirmative. He is hardworking person. Here his subject is verb, hardworking person, adjective. So we should use he is not a lazy person. The opposite word of hardworking is lazy or inactive. Affirmative was he is hardworking person. Negative would be he is not a lazy person. Okay, dear students, thank you very much for watching the video class. That's enough for today. I hope and pray that this pandemic situation of COVID-19 will run out soon and we shall meet face to face in the classroom within a very close future. Till then, Allah Hafiz.